Now, before we get started with our next guest, I wanted to highlight this afternoon's keynote presentations that begin at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Elad Hazan from Princeton will be speaking about optimization and machine learning, while Guru Pandor of American Eagle Outfitters shares a practitioner's perspective on the evolution of retail supply chains.
You may recognize the host of the virtual 2020 Informs annual meeting, Glenn Wegryn. For this interview, we decided to flip the script and give Informs annual meeting attendees the chance to get to know their illustrious host. Glenn, so I wanted to thank you for your work hosting this year's meeting and for all you've done for the Informs community over the years.
No problem at all. Happy to be here.
Let's get started then. Since you're the host, I have to ask, what's your favorite part about the annual meeting?
Well, it's big. It's big. There's always something for everyone, and it's certainly an opportunity to come back because I've been a part of Informs for so many years. It's always good to see old acquaintances again. And to me, the networking part of this is really the most important part. It's always good to see what new research is going on too. The meeting provides an opportunity for those of us in the field who may be hiring to see potential candidates, who are not necessarily looking to advance their careers academically, but instead want to really pursue a career in practice.
I'm happy to hear that the meeting experience has delivered on its promises over the years. And even with the virtual 2020 annual meeting, we have prioritized opportunities to connect and grow your professional connections. So you've been involved in the Informs community for a while, as a recipient of the Informs Prize and a 3-time finalist for the Edelman Award. What did it mean to you to have your company's work recognized in this way?
Well, it certainly brought a lot of recognition to the group internally at P&G. To a company the size of P&G, being noted externally is validation of the value and the contribution of the work that we gave to P&G. It certainly helped us when it came around to budget times and headcount times. Having that outside affirmation of the value has done a lot of good for the group. I left P&G 8 years ago with a very healthy organization, and since then, it's almost doubled in size, and I do believe a lot of it had to do with the type of validation that the Edelman Award and Informs Prize provided to us.
Glenn, that's fantastic. It's great to hear that the awards have a lasting benefit for the recipients, considering how impactful the finalist projects themselves tend to be. So you mentioned leaving P&G years ago, and I know you've worked in both industry and academia. What differences do each of these offer to the field?
That's an interesting question, because what we do at the Center for Business Analytics is to connect the industry with academia, and we look at it as supporting an ecosystem. We support the work of our researchers and our faculty for their teaching pursuits, and certainly students to build their skill sets. But we also believe really strongly in supporting leaders in analytics, in industry, to better understand how to build their capability, and then also practitioners as well, so they can build their skill set. That's a very tight connection that exists between the two. They feed and they help each other.
What advice would you give to young students in the field? Pretend like you're giving advice to your younger self.
Well, early on in my career, I was really focused on working on analytics and analytics problems. I have enough of a business acumen behind me, but one thing I probably should have done earlier in my career was to rotate into business assignments as much as I possibly could to really understand the business side of things and the dynamics of that and the problems that they face in getting things accomplished in their work. It's so much to know the math, but you have to understand the application. I was also one of the very first CAPs to receive the certification. I think for those who are early on in their careers, it's certainly helpful. And for young students in general, remember that the application of operations research is extremely important. The fundamental theory that is behind it is too, but I think that it's secondary to the practical impact or lack thereof. Any student in the field should really be focusing and understanding what the problem is that they're really trying to solve? And does it have practical application in the field? Because then that's truly the fruit of their labors.
Glenn, I think you've made some great points, and I think students or young professionals in the audience will value your input. That's unfortunately about all the time we have today. Thank you again, Glenn.
You're very welcome. Make sure you check out the schedule for community business meetings. There are a bunch that begin at 5:45 p.m. Eastern, both tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday. Now, you don't need to be a member of that particular society to attend. Take the opportunity to meet some people who are interested in the same topics as you. I'll be at the analytics meeting. Maybe I'll see you there.